Good day and welcome to the boombar on your boom radio NG. My name is Shola Rogers.
And my name is Oladolukwa. We bid you a warm welcome to the show this afternoon. It's a very interesting day. It's the 14th day of June. There's been a few things that's been happening. If you bid you a warm welcome. If you had never joined us, it is the boombar on your boom radio NG. We definitely bring you just about everything happening in Nigeria and all over the world over drinks, basically. That's basically what we do. So we implore you to get your own drinks, sit back, relax, and let's get this thing rolling.
Let's get this party started.
Okay, so we're going to start today's show on not a very, I won't say a very nice note, because this is a conversation that a lot of people seem to be shying away from. It has happened. It happened a few days ago, and weirdly, nobody's talking about it. And it is the story of I think it happened over the weekend. The story of Burna boy that has to do with his police escort and to a couple getting shot, and especially when we're in a country where we're very triggered when it comes to police shooting people. Isn't it weird that virtually nobody's talking about it? Like, nobody. So for people that do not know, if I would kind of say that you are living under a rock, but anything is anything. But let me give you a little bit of background of what happened. So according to story, it said that in Club Cubana in Lagos, it seemed there was an allegation of Burna boy stepping up to a lady who I think was married or something. And of course, which ensued in an altercation between her partner and Burna boy, or the people that were around him, and then led to the shooting of the couple by his policemen, the people that were supposed to escort him, his security detail. Which you're wondering, why does Burna boy need a security detail? There are private companies that you can get to, do these things. And it was in that story that the police had come out to say that actually 5 policemen that were actually attached to him. One human being. You're not the president, you're not the vice president, you're not a governor, you're not the senate, you're not even a bloody local government chairman.
Please pardon the bloody. Pardon.
Shout out to all the local government chairman. I'm just saying, I'm just using that as an example. What exactly? This is us, that him in particular, because this, I am very, very, if maybe this is what is going to trigger me this afternoon. This is a country, this is a set of people who came up. There was protest for about 2 weeks about police brutality, about how politicians use police how we're under policed, and some set of people use police as their personal security, as their personal handbag carriers, as their you get all these things. And in fact, he, if I remember correctly, sang a song about that and the supposed shooting or alleged shooting. Don't even let me go into that. But he even sang a song about it. In fact, he's been very vocal about those things. And I'm like, this kind of thing, that this you that you did all these things, you are the same person that has 5 policemen with you. Not only that, they now get to shoot someone. In fact, I saw someone who claimed that had a family member, the family member got shot in the incident about how Burna Boy was actually laughing.
Allegedly laughing.
Like he was. And then he left this. Then and I read the report from the police, the police headquarters, and they were like that these 5 people have been recalled, they've been detained in Lagos, and that what even started them being detained is that according to police police protocol, even if anything happens like that, you are supposed to report it, even if you were right or you were wrong, or even if, because I went on to do a bit of reading, that even if it was like maybe a shootout between you and police and maybe armed robbers or kidnappers, you understand that okay, there was even like a crime being perpetrated and there was a reason for you to shoot and all those things, you are still supposed to like get debriefed and report those things, the reason why you released bullets and all those, yeah. And according to the police, it was said that these people, the Lagos Police Command, did not get a whiff of this until a civilian actually reported the case. So, are those people being detained? According to police force, yes, they have been detained and they're undergoing investigation. We all claim that. In fact, you know, at this point, I think that I'm going to be on the side of the police a little bit. Why? Because we all claim that the police is bad. Yeah, police is bad and we have taken it. But what happens to you that you are very vocal about these things? And this is the same you. Number one, has 5 policemen escorting you. Number 2, in a situation where you are, the people attached to you are literally shooting civilians. Make it make sense.
Oh, I was actually just enjoying, to be very honest, I'm not being sarcastic, I was enjoying your presentation.
Okay.
And I was like, wow.
End
Then
of
you
TED
stop
Talk.
and you're looking at me, I'm like, okay.
End of TED Talk.
No, don't stop. You know, it's not a laughing matter. Please forgive my laughter. When we first heard this story break and everything, it sounded like a rumor. It sounded like
Yeah, it
one of
did
those
actually. It
fake
actually
stories
did.
and everything. Because I would like to, unpack this line by line. First things first. Why does anybody need or have 5 armed policemen
You are not the
working
president.
with
You are not the governor.
him or her as what exactly? Why does anybody need 5 armed policemen? That's 1. 2, it is standard practice and protocol that you do not take guns into buildings. You don't. The guy with the gun stays outside, especially when you know that these guys usually carry assault rifles and all of that. And the police are complicit. You're standing on that side, and I respect that. I'm going to stand on this side to say why and how
They allowed it in the first place. Oh yeah, I get you.
one individual, a
somebody would have approved it. Yes, I agree with you.
Except you're going to tell us, oh, they'll come back to say they were on illegal duty. And I'll say, okay, now you're making sense. Because I don't see how, especially when you can afford it. They are private security firms.
Do you get? I'm like, so where is the?
I do not underestimate the threat that it might be under as a public figure, a musician, a big one at that, globally acclaimed.
That's the part I don't get. Like, seriously.
But no, we don't know.
You can pay for those things.
Yes,
you don't
have
to.
You can actually afford, because even the policemen are not working for free. You're not going to tell me someone just looks at Burna Boy and says, I like the way this guy is saying, give him 5 policemen.
Yeah, they're definitely private security, which, to be honest with you, I'm not so much of a fan of the police. So if I'm even going to need 5 policemen, I'd rather even spend that money to get some other form of security than policemen.
Why do I need 5 policemen? So I said, okay, maybe there's a threat, maybe there's a security breach, but a lot of behind the scene information has come out. Some of them are not verifiable, but there are allegations of this and that. Someone who claimed to be in the club actually said that Davido was in that club earlier partying with this set of people, and that they left. We don't know how true this is, but that he left and those guys decided to stay back. Now I get it. Like, this is another discussion where people say things like, oh, you can't take your wife to the club, you can't party with your wife in the club.
No.
But what? No, you've not heard it before.
No, I know people say it. I'm just saying that. Wow.
And this is one of the reasons why people say it. You get. But to be honest, even at weddings and other social events,
oh, people do.
your wife will be sitting next to you, and one idiotic politician would tell someone to give her his complimentary card. So, are you going to go and slap the politician or punch them? I know how it feels when someone moves to your woman, even if you're single, even if you're married and she's your girlfriend or what. As long as you like someone or you have interest in someone, when someone moves to them, you don't like it. So the allegation is that Burna Boy was moving to this woman. Yeah, you get it. Okay, so it's all right. So I'm hoping that they did not escalate. But even if they have, a law enforcement officer was on ground. Now, not just 1, 5. And none of them
in
had
that
the
point,
sense.
you people were supposed to de-escalate the issue.
Exactly. None of them had the sense to say, by law, this is not even supposed to happen. Like, you're not supposed to allow them fight, but you're now the ones that have
fueled it, and then people got shot.
There was a stampede. People had to run out of the entire place. Like, everybody like left in a hurry. Who wants to die? I'm sure that club lost a lot of money that day because bills are not settled like that.
Yeah.
Some people will wait until when they want to leave before settling their bills and all of that. Then people would have gotten injured. And these are the minor things that happened. The major thing is that 2 people were shot.
2 people were shot. Some people
and other people were injured.
What happens when one of those people die?
I pray it doesn't happen. Because the charges will change. Whatever it is, changes. Now, a lot of things must be said. The Nigerian police needs to be more serious about its image. The perception of the police is not great. So, in arresting these 5 men, you have done the right thing. But could you not have prevented it in the first place? Why are 5 armed men attached to a private individual? And take that and extend it to even people I know someone, at the height of oil and gas business in Nigeria, I know someone that had his own mobile police oddly private guy. He had about 3 of them. There was a particular guy that was always in his car, then the other 2 would be in the
honest
in the
is that
oil and gas guy.
Chasing you? Who's chasing your life?
Oil and gas guy. No, actually, I know that there was a time he was attacked and all of that by thieves. But what I'm trying to say in essence is, there's business people need to realize this. If you're security inclined, maybe you're a former policeman or a former military man, there's a lacuna for you to fill. People need to build proper security companies that can offer this service.
Exactly.
We're not talking about bouncers now. We're talking about people who are licensed to also carry weapons. And they will act as your personal security and bodyguard and all of that. I know they exist already in this country, but it looks like there's a lacuna, because if there's none, why are policemen acting as bodyguards? And that's why at times you see pictures of policemen being sent on errands. You see videos.
Yeah.
You see them holding umbrellas for people, carrying people's food at parties, or holding the purse of the madam or something. And I don't think that's right. Because even if I'm there for security, then my hands are supposed to be free. Do you understand? Like, really and truly, if your orderly or your police detail
is really
how
do they actually secure you
when he's carrying umbrella? You understand? He's carrying your umbrella. He's carrying a massive plate of food that you have. So all of these tiny details are being played up because we need things to get better. Now the other part that you brushed on, and I really want to touch on. See the rhyme there? Brushed on, touched on.
Moving on.
How is it that the entire Nigerian space is quiet?
Music scene, the celebrities, everybody had something to say during NSAS. This is a typical police brutality issue.
It is police brutality.
Typical police brutality. Just a few days ago, there was a concert where about PVC and all that. How come everybody is conveniently quiet?
According to one artist, Moya, look away. Everybody is looking away.
Now, because it's your like your own person, or is somebody that everybody likes.
And you know the funny thing, there's something I like to do. I like to reverse the roles. So let's reverse it. These guys that were shot, I heard some of them are Nigerians based abroad, right?
Yeah.
And they had come home for a wedding and all of that. Now picture if it was them that had the police escort that shot at Burna Boy, or shot Burna Boy, or shot someone on Burna Boy's party.
Mm-hmm.
A member of his team. What do you think will be happening by now? Hashtag justice for Burna.
Justice for Burna.
Hashtag Nigerian police is not your friend. Hashtag this, hashtag that. It's like a graveyard silence.
To me, it's reminiscent. What it shows to me is just that the whole thing of not liking police is because it's not on our side. Shouldn't we have a level playing field?
No.
With all the police brutality that we've seen, and with this one now, the police is not looking good in anything.
Yeah.
But it is the police and the people involved as well. How come everybody is just quiet? So it's only when it suits us that we want to be activists.
You know one of the things that you see a lot on social media, especially on Twitter, and you find it on the other apps too, is that you will find when people will say things like, there's a sad event. Oh, someone like the lady who died before she traveled.
Yeah.
Very sad event. They said Nigeria happened to her.
Nigeria literally happened to these people too.
There's another guy who I think he had an accident, and they said if things are working, he wouldn't have died. You see people tweeting and say Nigeria has happened to this person. Now the two people who were shot by Burna Boy's police detail, now they're confirmed to have been shot.
Yeah.
So it's not allegedly shot, they were shot. The only wiggle room he has now is to say, oh, those guys didn't come with me.
According to the police now, he has actually been asked to. There's story that he's left the country.
He said that he left immediately after the event.
But the story also now calls back to the fact that the police are actually looking for him.
Yeah, they said they found a way to communicate to him that he needs to come for some kind of meeting and all of that. And again, I wish people will handle success better. I wish that you don't get caught up in this kind of things. I wish you were the one that was using your car to rush those two people that got shot by police to the hospital. Not that if you even hear some of the people on that party talked about how when they got to the military hospital that they went to, I think it was Naval Hospital, that there was no blood. And they wanted to donate blood, but they were told that they're all coming from the club.
So they can't.
And you're not allowed to. And two amazing naval officers offered to donate blood.
Oh wow.
Just like that, without asking for anything. They did it like that. And again, today, I think today is Blood Donors Day. You know, so I deliberately also wanted to play that up because we seem to have an issue with donating blood. Like, donating blood is one ritual or one issue. And again, I respect all religions. I know some religions don't even condone it at all. It's fine. I'm not going to go there. But if those two cops, those two beautiful naval officers, did not donate blood a few days ago, the story will be different.
Completely different. Will be
different because those guys had lost a lot of blood and they had to get blood donated. But also calls to question our issue with blood banking. You would expect an hospital of that status, especially that deals with military people, who might be in the line
always,
of fire.
They'll always have
Shouldn't
people.
They have a proper blood bank and say, we're giving you 3 pints of blood, but because we can't afford to give you this for free, you must provide 3 pints during the day. Something like that. I know that they helped them and they steadied them and they took care of the gunshot victims, but again, it shows that the system is failing. And hospitals should be up to standard. Blood banks should not be so limited now. This is 2022. We should have blood banks all over the place.
But the problem, we all know that the problem with blood banks is not just about providing equipment and facilities. It's about the blood. Blood cannot be synthesized. People literally have to donate the blood. Okay, so it's that's a major issue.
So if we can talk about the steps or the value chain to blood banking, you have touched on a very important point, which is donating blood. I'm talking about how we find it hard to bank it, even the few that have been donated. That, for instance, blood is so hard to come by, especially when there's surgeries that you need to, or a relative needs to go. Blood is so hard that you're in a teaching hospital and they're telling you to go and get blood elsewhere.
That's what I'm saying, that it might really not be about banking the blood. Okay. It's about the quantity of blood they have. Okay, so I'm going to come with my own personal experience. Okay. Since you have this angle and I respect it. I had to take a close relative in for surgery, and before we could do it, we had to get 3 pints of blood, of a certain type of blood. Yeah. And we went on and on for weeks, and because of that, the surgery was delayed. Okay. Thank God it wasn't life-threatening. At the end of the day, they finally told us that they had the blood. Okay. All we had to do was provide a replacement, and not necessarily that one. Yes, that's what happens. So that is what I am talking about. So now, I had to transverse from hospital to hospital looking for a certain type of blood. Exactly. So it might not be about banking. It is the blood. Do they have it? I discovered in the process that a lot of hospitals don't even have blood banks. Yes. And that's what I'm saying. That it should be part of the standards. Like, for instance, you're setting up an eatery. You have something to keep. It's like having a freezer. You must have a freezer. That is what I am talking about. I get all that. You're talking about an angle that is correct and fantastic, but I'm saying that there should not be any standard hospital, especially a military hospital, without a proper blood bank that has blood at all times. So a blood donation drive is another thing entirely. That's where I'm going to, because that military hospital, they might actually have the equipment. They just do not have people donating blood. So that's why I'm saying that. And you can't force people to donate blood. No, your point is valid. But I discovered that a lot of hospitals don't even have it. Like, you want blood, you have to go through hell and high water to get blood. And it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Again, some people who work in the hospital use it as some form of racket. Oh, yeah. It's a money-making venture for some people. Like, they're trying to make money off you, regardless of what's going on with your relative or yourself when you go there. So blood banking, for me, is just one aspect. The most important aspect is the one that you talked on,
which is the donating. Like people need to donate.
People really need to donate blood.
But again, I know that in Lagos, if like for instance, if you take your wife into a Lagos State Hospital, you are required to provide blood.
Mm-hmm.
It's a standard, whether she needs it or not.
Oh no! On a normal day, you're not supposed to go into surgery. A doctor, don't let me say a doctor, a qualified one, will not operate on anybody without blood. It's just like a safe. Some people end up not using it. Some people do. Some people even end up using more than it was donated. But it's just always a precautionary measure.
Yeah. So that's another way that I know that they've been able to stock up on blood donation and all of that in.
But I think that we really should just
a lot of awareness.
Yes, a lot of that's the word. A lot of awareness. People need to donate blood more.
One of the biggest issues with donating blood is that people don't understand that it does not matter what you are and who you are and what you feel at the moment. As long as you are healthy enough to donate blood, just donate it. It is their own job to sort it out, to screen it, to scan it, and to find out if it is good enough to be banked or not.
Yeah.
You know, because again, people will say, "Oh, I want to donate blood, but I'm not sure if they will accept my blood." No, don't worry about that.
Just
if you are interested in donating blood, if you walk up, if you're in Lagos now, for instance, the Lagos University Teaching Hospital.
A lot of teaching hospitals and general hospitals. You literally
Lagos
can
State
just
University Teaching Hospital, Lasut and Lut.
You can just walk into the place and donate blood. I'm sure that
all
those general hospitals, you literally can just walk in.
And outside Lagos, in Abuja, you know, the federal medical centers across Nigeria,
those places,
and
because they need it, so
hospital.
they would welcome you with open arms. Really, at the end of the day, so
they actually like people coming through. Just come and
donate, and go. I remember when I was in uni, where when there was a course that we used to go and do in UCH then, and then we used to use that opportunity to donate blood. I think I did it 2 or 3 times. You know why? Why we used to go was that they would give you malt and biscuits. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, that was the only reason, like, I beg, let's go and eat free malt and biscuits.
I was outside Nigeria one time like that, and in a place, I think the facility is like a court house, like a local government office, massive complex. There was a truck that they put there for donating blood. You know, it's like a big bus and everything, and they were offering free movie tickets. They give you 2 movie tickets if you donate blood. But of course, for people like us who are coming from the tropics, like they call it, they can't take our blood. Oh, have you been out of America?
Yeah.
I finally said America. Have you been out of that country for 6 months, or I think there's a 6-month window, a 3-month window? They're not going to take.
They're not going to take your blood.
But if you've been around for longer than that, you know, you donate blood, they give you movie tickets. You know, I actually stopped to talk to those ladies. There were some women, I think I put them in their 50s or so, and they were actually volunteers, and that was what they do. Like, they were actually drumming up support and asking people, just come donate blood, we need blood and everything. And may we just not be in a situation where this is all that's going to keep you alive. May you be in a situation where you're able to keep other people alive.
That's
you ever
that's
need it,
that's
someone
really
close to you gets it.
That's really it for me at the end
So
of the
back
day.
to the Burna Boy issue and the whole incident and everything. It is high time the police put his foot down and be clear. We heard that policemen attached to this same category of people were recalled months ago. Remember there was an announcement.
So how did that was even I remember it was even a bit of politicians and House of Representatives and
even people like him, like private individuals and all.
So how is it that
five policemen
in a country where we're grossly underpoliced, 5 policemen, to now worsen it? The 5 policemen that were there that was supposed to literally keep the peace
were the ones that were causing the problem. And before you leave this matter, because I know you're about to, a few weeks ago in Lagos here, while celebrating his birthday, someone was having a party somewhere in Lagos at some kind of a beer parlor, open air and all of that, but they had roofs there. And his friends were spraying him money and they were dancing. And one of his friends that came with a police escort, actually, maybe he asked his police escort to do it, or maybe escort was just moved. The man brought out his gun, and wanted to do like a gun salute.
Yeah.
And ended up killing the celebrant, and I think another person, maybe the person he went with, well, at least 1 or 2 people died at that party.
Oh, okay.
It was all over the internet.
Okay, I think I remember
Yes.
that.
Yes, it was. And this is what we're talking about. Our police needs to be professional. I know you can get attached to the person you've been assigned to, but the truth is, if you were trained and you're properly trained, you're not even supposed to. You're not supposed to take a gun to where there are people. Do you get, like, I've worked in the stadium, anchoring events, organizing events. You're not even allowed to bring your gun into the arena. You're supposed to be outside. You get. So, but how do people take guns into parties? You see them in halls and they're carrying guns. And I'm extreme. As soon as I say that, I am uncomfortable. There was an event that I was in charge of, security and logistics, and we insisted that every single person that had someone carrying an assault rifle
had to stay
you had to stay outside. And the funny thing is, we only had resistance of maybe 1 or 2 politicians. The rest of them complied because they knew. So that's why you find that pistols are allowed, because they are holstered and everything. So you can't. But still, why would a policeman be shooting inside a clubhouse?
It makes no sense. Yeah, it makes no sense. Like, if you are really that trigger happy, they are looking for you in the north, though. Just in case you were looking. I'm just putting it out there. So anyway, another issue that is a little bit sad that didn't get as much mercy court is, but thankfully the Lagos State Police Command is on it. Looks like they've been charged to court. Is the issue that happened in Lagos, where 3 suspects have been charged to court for allegedly beating and setting a woman, her corpse, on fire because she had a Holy Quran. So, background story. It said that she's a sex worker, and one of the 3 of them, these people, came to ask for her services. He patronized her, and then he paid out 1,000 naira. Then, after he left, she came out to say that he had taken her 5,000, where he now came back with 2 of his friends in a bid to help her search for the money.
To prove that I didn't take your money.
I didn't take your money.
Probably in your room.
In between where they were searching for the money, they found a Quran under her pillow. And then they started questioning her why she had a Quran because of the line of job she was doing. And then they pounced on her, beat her to death, and they set her ablaze.
Hypocrites everywhere.
I'm lost. So it is okay for you that
to
patronize a sex worker to now be the one that is the judge and the jury. And what's the difference between you and her if we're going to be looking at it like that?
Hypocrisy at its finest.
I'm lost. I'm lost. You literally patronized her. Then you have a problem that she has a Quran.
Yes.
You don't think she should because of what she's doing. But it's okay for you to do it that you're patronizing. Exactly. See, I think hypocrisy is a lot of English. I think there are a lot of raving mad people. My opinion. Like, raving mad. I don't think that a lot of people are well. Because if you are well and you are using your thinking faculty, you will not be doing the nonsense. You will not be saying such. You will not even think. Because if you are so protective of your religion, you should be ashamed. you should be ashamed. Or more like, you shouldn't even go to her, because even if you didn't go to her in the first place, you will not be lied against. You wouldn't have to see what she has in her room. You wouldn't. The only, would I say, a little bit of sucker is the fact that these 3 people have now been charged to court by the Lagos State Police Command. I'm happy that this is very fast, because it's one thing, because the minute you start moving, that's when they will say they're searching for people and then they can't find them and all, and all those things. And I'm like, to me, people are just mad.
So this happened in a place called Alabarago in Lagos, and you recall that a few days ago, the Lagos State government had served notice on them that they had to clear up that area and all of that. Again, I'm just saying that there are reasons why some things happen at times. When government makes certain pronouncements.
Exactly.
Oh, there should be no Okada riding in parts of Lagos, or some areas need to be cleared. There are reasons for it. It's not every time that government is bad or government has an ulterior motive. And these are the things that we need to always calm down and just listen and research and find out what's going on. Sadly, the young lady's life has been cut short by hypocrites who think because they are more powerful than her, Dolupo would rather call them mad people.
Mad people.
You see?
That's it.
They think because they're more powerful than her, they can judge her and pass sentence and execute. So you're the judge, the jury, and the executioner. Again, my advocacy for expedited hearings in certain cases will come to fore today. These kind of cases should be expedited. Let it send a strong message to people who harbor such sentiments, that the law would not respect you when you take the law into your hands.
Yeah.
Imagine if they had only just reported her, at least she would have been dealt with by law for committing a crime. Abi? Ishebi is a crime.
At least she will be alive.
And she would be dealt with by a crime, Abi. But now you have killed her. That's the judgment that you passed. And I hope
as who
the full harm of the law will come to bear on these people. This hypocrites.
And for me, the reason also is because it should serve as deterrent. Just so you know, the minute you do it, you're going to spend the rest of your life in jail, or you're probably going to be killed, because you shouldn't even be wasting taxpayers' money to be feeding you in jail. Nah, you're not even worth it.
At the end of the day, this case will drag.
And then they will sew green clothes for you, and then they'll be feeding you
3 meals a day.
3 meals a day. No. You're waste of human resources.
They should make these kind of prisoners earn their keep.
Like, literally waste of human resources.
It's really sad. It's really sad that someone had to lose her life because she had an holy book. You see?
It makes no sense. Like, there's no part of it that makes any sense. Let's just move on, because the more you think about it, the more angry you get from it. So let's move off all that and let's move on to an announcement that came up that there is now a code of practice developed by the National Information Technology Development Agency. And the reason that I felt that we should talk about this is because, of course, on social media, especially on Twitter, there's been a lot of back and forth, and the little that we can do to put out right information is what we will do. And what this really means is that there is now a code of practice for all interactive computer service platforms and internet intermediaries, basically social media platforms. That's just English. And we know that from the issue of when Twitter was suspended for a few months and everything, the federal government had come out to say that at some point there was going to be regulations for all social media platforms. Remember that time? So when I saw this news, I didn't see it as a big deal. Like, they had already said this was going to happen. So basically what they're saying, what the federal government of Nigeria is saying, is that, first of all, that every single one of these platforms, from Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, Google, and TikTok, basically those are the major ones that really work and that they've really caught on in Nigeria, that they're supposed to have a country representative. I'm sure that for someone like Google, there is a Google office in Nigeria, so I'm not sure this would apply so much to them. They're saying that there should be a country representative that would interface with the Nigerian authorities from time to time. It also means that they're also saying that they should also register as a legal entity, like literally have like a company in Nigeria with the Corporate Affairs Commission. And when you have a Corporate Affairs Commission, when you're registered with them, what it also means is that you're going to have to pay tax. You're going to, basically go by every single law and rule that a Nigerian company has to go through. You pay tax, you pay all those funny things, and then basically abide by regulatory and legal demands that a Nigerian company has to go through, basically.
I think that this is not what is out there on social media.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I felt the need that we need to like put it out there.
If you go by the interpretation that has been given on social media, they're saying basically that the government is going to ban. In fact, some people are using it as a campaign slogan now, and a campaign trust, to say, look, if you vote for the ruling party or any of these people, they're going to ban these platforms in your country. In fact, they went as far as saying that the ban that was put on Twitter last year was part of this plan, and of course they made a mistake that the government's original plan was to extend that ban until after elections, and then they made the mistake by bringing it out, and because they brought it, the government is going to lose and this and that. But when you go out of Nigeria, don't even talk about Europe or America or the Americas. I'm talking Northern Africa and Middle East. You find that all these apps do not have a free pass there.
They don't. No, they don't. Oh, they do not.
I have a friend who works with the Nigerian sports industry, and he went with a team to Egypt. And WhatsApp did not work in Egypt. WhatsApp did not.
Yeah.
So the other app that I use is what we use to communicate, because they don't know about it, so they didn't block that. You get? They are geo-blocked. Even in some parts of Europe and other, like China and places, some of these apps don't even work at all. They have their own versions of it.
They have their own versions of it. Some parts of those apps don't work at all. Some of those things, you see, like I think like WhatsApp, there's some countries that messages work, phone calls don't.
You can't make phone calls in some places. You can't make audio or video calls.
You can't.
You get? And at times they're done for commercial purposes. At times they're done for security purposes. Then they will let you
like
know.
We make it seem like as if, and I think that it is a bit of lack of exposure. Really, for me, I think it's a bit of lack of exposure, because if you actually a little bit more exposed, really, you will know that this thing is really not that big a deal. It literally isn't that big a deal. That not even just social media apps. There are a lot of apps, like all this cab hailing apps, all these things, they don't work in a lot of countries. They do not. And there's nothing you can do about it. There literally isn't anything anybody can do about it. So, let's stop, let's be a little bit more, if we're going to campaign or do whatever it is, I think that we should, all the time, at least, the least we could do is stick to the facts.
Yeah, and I don't see anything wrong with them trying to regulate those companies and generate income and more jobs for Nigerians. But of course, we have to politicize everything. But it's not fine.
Anyway, so now let's move on quickly. Oh, we're almost out of time, but there's a little bit of news coming from the courts. The courts seem to be pretty busy today. As the first one I was going to talk about is that a court has stricken out a suit challenging the validity of the 1999 Constitution. And I remember that by the time this case was actually in court, I remember we actually did have a conversation about it. That's why I'm bringing it out first. Like, I remember very, very well there was like an in-depth conversation about it when this case got to the court. Now the judge has stricken it out, basically talking about how there are a few things. That number one, the High Court in Ekiti State does not have jurisdiction to hear this case, and even if it did, there are a few other things about how only 6 people cannot come out to talk on behalf of the Ekiti State people or the Nigerian people in general for the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
And back and forth, which makes sense, but I'm not a lawyer though, so really.
Yeah, again, in everything you do, you must consider the reality on ground and the change that you're trying to wrought, the change that you're trying to bring, that you're trying to create, you're trying to make. How would you even take this kind of case to court in the first place without understanding what you're fighting?
Yeah.
You see, at times people will tell you, and I know that a lot of them have failed. They'll tell you, oh, if the senator doesn't, we'll recall him.
Exactly. Yeah, we've had. I think
recall him.
former Senator Dino Melai was the closest to getting recalled.
Senator,
but
why is the former there? Is a senator?
He's not a senator now.
He's a senator. Once a senator, always a senator.
He's not a senator.
He's a senator.
Okay, senator of which constituency?
Senator Dino Melai.
Which constituency?
The governor, the former governor of Oyo, was referred to as senator even when he became a governor.
Okay, which senate?
Dolupo, you just talk about people being uneducated now and unenlightened. So, are we saying that you are too? He is a senator. Dino Melai is a senator. I know you're playing, but of course, let's get real. Senator Dino Melai was meant to be recalled. It didn't work.
It didn't even work, yeah.
The way the thing is structured itself, it will hurt you. But at least people tried to go about it the right way.
Yeah.
Because if you just go to court and say you want someone impeached or recalled, they'll tell you.
Those things don't happen. And I remember that I actually did a little bit of research about recalling someone or not recalling someone. And I remember that it's very tedious because you have to look for every single person that voted for that person. How do you get those data? So it's not just about, it's people that voted.
So this court,
and all those things.
So this court case by these guys shows why the constitution is bad. Our constitution is indeed faulty.
Oh yes, it is. Oh yes.
But this is not how to
go about it, basically.
Because if you had the old people behind you, this judge would not have been able to make the pronouncement.
Yeah, but for a constitution, I think what the judge was supposed to talking about was that this kind of thing should be a class action and not just 6 people coming to say that the whole of Nigerians do not like the constitution.
Exactly.
It doesn't work like that. Also, Still talking about the courts. The courts have jailed two co-defendants of Abake. Remember, two other people that were arrested at the airport, and they actually pleaded guilty to the charges, and they've been given 2 years in jail for drug trafficking. And I think that the judge was actually really lenient on them, because also those 2 years are supposed to begin from the day that they were arrested.
We just said it now that the Nigerian constitution is faulty. It's not a perfect document, but it's also not a great document. So perfection is even far. Let it even be an okay document, it is not. How are they getting just 2 years for the crimes that they committed?
They pleaded guilty.
Yeah, 2 years.
There's a plea bargain, so in between, maybe there's more things that they're supposed to give up,
but
or something that they're not putting out.
When you look at other people who have been sentenced to longer years in prison for lesser crimes, you understand what I'm trying to talk about.
No, I get what you're saying, but according to the statement from the court, it is that there is a plea bargain, so there is a bargain somewhere. Something is giving something.
Okay, so I just still will reiterate my opinion that the Nigerian constitution is not great, and that's why those guys were trying to change it, even if they had an ulterior motive. But one day we'll have that discussion on how we need to change the constitution completely if we're going to go for it. But this matter, what is important there is that it's like lefty loosey, righty tighty. The screw, because if you don't understand what I'm trying to talk about, the way you tighten a screw. You see the screw of Abakiari's case is being tightened, righty tighty.
Do you understand? That's my point. Like,
if
they
two people
actually said there's a plea bargain.
Who are co-defendants, who are
pleaded guilty,
who are associates of yours, get 2 years. Trust me, they don't sing small.
Now you
No, you think I didn't know what I was saying all along? I had to establish first
Mm-hmm.
that the constitution is messed up, and I repeat it. It is messed up. It is messed up.
It looks like there's some singing involved.
I don't know how you want to survive this one, Sha. I don't think you can. I really don't think you can.
Okay. So there's some talking about let's go to the House of Assembly. And there's a little bit of drama in the Senate. First thing, we know that some people have had to resign their principal positions as this minority and the majority leader of the House have they decamped. Same thing happened in the House of Representatives as well. So as of today, the minority leader who used to be in the PDP moved to ABGA, and also the majority leader who used to be the APC moved to the PDP. So it looks like that there has to be new people coming up. But also the Senate president. It's a very interesting story that broke yesterday, where it looks like the Senate president is not coming back to the Senate. According to what I read, the Senate president has been in the Senate since 1999. And looks like for the first time he's not coming back because we talked about this thing a few days ago. I didn't even know he too was involved in that mix, where people go and contest presidential elections, they don't win, then they come back to take a seat in the Senate or House of Representatives. We talked about Godswill Akpabio, who, after coming back, the person that was supposed to step down did not step down. INEC has not recognized him. We don't have update on that as well. But also in Yobe State, where the Senate President Ahmad Lawan is from, the person that got the ticket, fortunately for, but I don't know if I'll say fortunately or unfortunately for him, because the person that won it, as I was reading it, the person that won that ticket was actually unopposed.
Yeah, the one for allowance seat.
Yes.
298 votes he got. 200 from 300.
There wasn't a contest. So there was no contest of maybe they rigged for somebody, they didn't rig for somebody. There was no contest. So now there is, because remember the case of Akpabio where they said that they cancelled the primaries. So there's no need to cancel the primaries that you are the only one there. Now, it has been said that the man has said that he's not stepping down for anybody.
There's a letter allegedly written by him that's all over social media, and that the man is saying that he contested and won an election, and he went through a lot to get to where he is. And it's not his mandate, it's the people's mandate. He's not going to give it up for anybody. He doesn't have plans. He's ready to resume. So, you see, I think politicians should be dealt this kind of blows.
Yeah.
I hope that this person holds his ground
and does not step down.
And doesn't step down.
It's just a few days more.
Because you're the Senate president. On paper, you're number three in Nigeria. You know, and you've been there since the beginning of time. Like my good Egbon and friend, the late great Judge Curtis Okole will say, from time Imo River. You've been there from the get.
Uncle, it's time to retire.
Then you woke up one day and said you want to be president.
Nobody said no.
Which position did you carry in that election again? I can't even remember.
It was foul.
He didn't carry third.
No.
And it was consensus.
It was not third. It was not even fourth. I think it was like fifth.
You even try, you see fifth.
What's that?
And that,
okay, true, some people did not get any votes.
You can use it to negotiate for minister now. That I was fifth. You guys should make me a minister if the APC wins. You know. So, Mr. Lawan, honestly, I think it's time for you to go and spend time with your family. Since 1999. In fact,
the one that used to...
You're probably not from Yobe.
The one that
you are now from Abuja.
The one that used to bust my head the most.
If you have been working in Abuja since 1999.
Are we saying...
If you have been working in Abuja since 1999.
You are from Abuja?
Since 1999.
For me,
let's allow fresh...
Like I would say that... Are we saying that...
our people,
in
the
the
good
whole...
people of Yobe.
That senatorial district... Are you saying that nobody else deserves to be a senator? Bros, like you are the only representative, only one.
Bros, if you don't come up for that car where they go jump from one car to the other, they jump from senatorial president to president.
I think that this new House of Representatives is going to be very interesting. You know, there are a lot of people that are not coming back.
As usual now, it's not new now.
Some people didn't even win the ticket, so it's not that they are not even. So
that one is not new now.
No. It's you would have there are a lot of names that you would expect that would win the ticket that did not. Case in point. But anyway, so I think that is good to have fresh blood, new ideas, new thought processes. So yeah, it's a very interesting situation. We'll see how that is going to end. How INEC is going to sort a lot of those things out.
Finally, as we leave in the next couple of seconds, there's just a statement from Showore of the Sahara Reporters fame and the chairman and the presidential candidate of AAC, I think.
Yeah, African Alliance something.
And he has now thrown a jab at the Labour Party as the orphanage home for homeless politicians. That's all.
As much as I agree with him, maybe a little bit, you didn't even have God knows how many votes in last election, so please.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Now the Labour Party is different, it's reinvigorated.
No, I'm not talking about Labour Party. I'm talking about AAC, yes. As much as maybe what he said might be a little true.
He fought hard and got the ticket of the party.
Which party? The one that AAC. Is the national chairman. The one that he went unopposed. the same one.
No. You see, you are getting it wrong. But
It's
we
time
don't
to
have
come
time
and be
for
going.
that now. We'll discuss it.
There's
some other
nothing. I'm not discussing such with you. Goodbye. Hi, good night. Hey, I'm just a pretty person. Somebody wants to rouse my blood, but no. Go for be better.